For it is not by barbarians run, nor by tyrants crushed. But thou wilt say, I am silent on the real matter at issue, that I left thy house by stealth. No mean goddess at his side he came, by evil genius. Paris or Alexander, call him as thou wilt, and he didst thou. Enough of this. For what follows, I must question of my own heart, not thine.
This is good. Yeah, this is nice. Die.
Woe is thee.
That's my bad. Okay, now together.
Woe is thee. Woe is thee.
That's all this.
Nice.
Okay, and now we're going to do the as an unwilling bride is a wretched slave part. That's 4 times. 1 first, then 2. Oh, go to your section.
That he that for a bride accursed brought destruction on the Trojan citadel, and there lie the gory corpses of the slain at the shrine of Pallas for vultures to carry off. In Troy's come to slavery's guilt, oh my country. Oh, unhappy land, I weep for thee now left behind. Thou dost behold a piteous end. And thee, my house, I weep, wherein I suffer travail. Oh, travail. Oh, my children. Oh, reft of her city.
The show is about the women of Troy after the Trojan horse and after all of the devastation of Achilles coming and taking over. The concept of our play is we costumed it as Syria, and we kept the names of all of the Greek places, but we based it as if it was in Syria and as Syrian refugees. Because we need to raise awareness for Syria. And if this happened years and years and thousands of years ago, and it's happening again, we need people to know what is happening so it doesn't happen again.
Civil war, and the rebels are losing, and the U.S. has been supporting the rebels, but there's a lot of terrorist factors going on with the rebels that are expanded across the entire Middle East, and we've got moral problems with taking a side, but there's a terrible humanitarian crisis, and so the best thing we could do is just try to help the innocent people that are getting caught in the middle.
Come weep, come weep, come weep.
So we're doing this show as a fundraiser for Syrian refugees because a lot of people don't know what's happening on the other side of the world. They don't know what's happening in Aleppo. They don't know all of these monstrosities that are happening. And we read a play that's historical and we understand that anguish, but we don't realize that people are going through it now. So this show is kind of bringing to light all the pain they're going through, and that's why we're doing it Syrian.
Well, we're doing Trojan Women, and we're making it about Syrian refugees. We added original music into it. It's really cool. It's a tragedy. It's written by Euripides. And it's about Trojan women after the Trojan War and what is to become of them. Like, some of them are going to be taken off. Well, they're all going to be either slaves or concubines or sacrificed, and they're finding out, and then they're feeling the emotions.
We've gotten to almost, I'm so close to Shantae, but I'm going to skip the entire conversation that Andromache and Talthybius have, because that doesn't really matter to me. And I'll do the line right
before I got casted as this, I didn't even know what was going on in Syria, so I think it's important that people know. And there are actually a lot of ways to help, and there's a lot of people that are getting, there's a lot of people that are getting utensils, stuff that they need. They're getting stuff that they need together to bring it over there, or specifically helping refugees. So there's a lot of things that we can do. We just need to be educated about it.
Trojan Women was not originally adapted for Syrians, but we adapted it to show the Syrian refugees and kind of give a brief understanding of what they're going through, and maybe help them out by showing people what they're going through and helping them understand.
I just so my brother, he lost babies. Him and his wife, they lost 3 of their kids, and so when it was showing Tegan as her, I forgot her name, Andromache, and she was having to get rid of the baby, it just was so heartbreaking and just so tough in that sense.
The whole idea of being separated from your family. My dad was deployed for a year to Afghanistan and Iraq, and so that was really hard for my family, so I kind of understood what it was like to be separated from your family.
Nor was the place in Menelaus rich enough for thy luxury to riot. No, it's riot. I want to say rot, but riot.
Is it place or palace?
I say palace. But does she say place or palace?
That's my question.
My son carried thee off by force.
Yep, he did. He thought I was hot too.
Oh man.
I love music already. I think it's amazing. It makes me feel every time I listen to songs. It's a reason I love musicals so much. But this music specifically I thought was gorgeous. I was so excited when I got the first song and I started learning it. And then they just kept getting better. The song for the child that dies in the play, his name is Astyanax, is so heart-wrenching. Whenever I sing it, it just makes me feel, and it makes everyone in the audience feel. As far as I can tell, I've gotten comments on that song specifically.
The music was inspired through with Arabic influences. You can tell in the chord progressions, key progressions. It is supposed to sound like it is from folk music from that area, so that, if we were to use just modern music and music that was coming from a musical kind of perspective, it would sound out of place. It had to be that style of music so that it could show where we are and why we're doing it.
Honestly, I think the music is what made the show so impactful, made it what it is. And the music itself, has a lot of meaning behind it. even though it was all written in the process of the production of the show, so it evokes feelings that I never knew I could experience, and I'm sure many of the audience members who came and saw the show never knew they could experience. I just think it's really cool. That's me summed up.
As all declare who came to Ilium.
Nor by tyrants crushed. Lion, by tyrants crushed.
Oh, the screen is freaking out.
What have you done?
It literally wasn't her. It freaked out.
What was your last line?
By tyrants crushed.
Nor yet by what Hellas gained.
What Hellas gained was ruin to me. A victim for my beauty soul, reproach for that which should have put a crown upon my head.
Yeah, I know.
But thou wilt say I am silent on the real matter.
Chris, yell at him.
First, I will think of the cause of those goddesses and prove how she perverts the truth. For I can ne'er believe that Hera nor the maiden Pallas would ever be guilty of such folly as to sell the one, her Argos to barbarians, or the maiden Pallas.
Yeah, we're making an assembly line, so just get in a line.
It's like running down the stairs and hitting every stair with both your feet.
Okay.
Feels like.
So
You can space yourself.
yeah, space yourself a little bit more.
I really hate to say it, but this is not faster than just everybody grabbing.
You know what? It looks cooler.
Everybody grabbing.
It is though because
Because you can't maneuver in here.
This is a teamwork.
We should just have everybody just grab one and take it.
There's no room to walk.
Here, scoot down a little bit.
That is true. Yeah, so it's actually here. That'll be the best one. Take it from Alex and
What you need to do is space out more. And I don't see you helping.
It was a lot of work building the set because of how big it was and the undertaking of it. Took a lot of time, and we taught a lot of people a lot of new things, which is always good. It was, all in all, it just took a lot of effort. So we began by designing a four-layer stage. That way we could have different levels, and we started with a square in the middle, and then we built out from there, keeping in mind that we had to have the audience seeing up. And so we began construction on platforms for the base level, and then we began building trusses for each level up, and then made sure they were secure, and then began putting plywood down for the stage. And then we painted it, finished up blocking everything off that we needed blocked off, made sure all the risers were up and that we had safety rails and all the safety standards we had, and all the doors and entrances that we needed to make could be made.
So as set construction, we built the entire set of Trojan Women and Rosencrantz. So I spent a lot of hours just, working with the crew, trying to get that up, and a lot of wood was used, And as a stage manager, I just called the cues, you know, I made sure the cast was memorized, made sure that they were doing what they were supposed to do, make sure that everything was running correctly when we were doing the shows. Stage managing is a different kind of stress that kind of motivates me to keep going, but the stage was something I've never worked with before. I wasn't really comfortable with construction at the time, so I was just kind of throwing myself out there hoping to get it done, and so it was really stressful, and knowing that we had a time crunch and that we had to finish it by a certain date, it was really stressful. So.
Oh, I'm really worried, but I'm also really excited, and I also know that I can do it. It's a little stressful, but I know we can do it because if there is a will, then there is a way.
I feel like if we try to relate it to what we've learned about what's happening in Syria, because it's happening right now, and we try to get and really try to connect it with real people, then we'll be able to portray that even a little bit of what's happening. They'll be successful.
Memorization. Because I feel like a show instantly becomes better when we know what we're saying. Well, the other day I watched The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. and the really awful blonde chick that's seducing you got it. I feel like as the past couple days I've wanted to channel that. I don't know if I have a connection to that other than enjoying that movie, but that was helpful because I'm not really very much like Helen.
I think it's really cool that I actually has legitimate meaning, which is we're trying to actually say something with what we're doing, and that's really cool.
So there's a lot of fabric, and I really don't know what to do with all of it without being culturally insensitive. So we're trying really hard here.
Good. At all.
Okay, have you cut the piece yet?
Yes.
Okay, that is way longer than hers. Beth, come here. So when we get hers, you're going to cut one hers.
The world needs to see more child.
In the office.
I'll wait.
My brain is dripping down. I want chocolate.
Wow, that's exciting.
Scandalous. Can't even show your hair, but you're showing your knee.
No, I have slits.
Whoa, whoa. That is very
They're both the same length.
Have any of the bubbles?
I have some in my hair. That's very useful. I want to see the lovely dress.
Well,
And I'm so hoping the others come. But this is what I've been able to do.
Get the
this
longer
kind
one.
of thing going on.
I think both, actually.
I'll just wear literally both.
Wear the shorter one.
All right. Just like
It
this.
matches your gold theme.
Yeah, it does.
My scissors.
I feel like it really matches the
Anybody have
I'm
my
better than
scissors?
you theme.
What?
You know, I think it matches the I'm better than you. Here's the conclusion of my argument. Crown Hellas by slaying her as she deserves. And something. Like the very second word, everything written. Establish. That's the word. This law.
But only one kind of shearish one, and we'll have to figure out who was the last before Hecuba to put that on. We'll put that over part of him, and then Hecuba, you put on that cloth. You still want to see the blood? Because when the lights end the show, they go down to a red light on him.
Is this Shira?
Awesome.
When I first heard that I was Hecuba, it was overwhelming. I knew how much I had to memorize, and she's an intense character. And it was hard for the longest time, especially memorization and trying to get the right emotion behind the words. But then I had a conversation with my director, and he told me to embrace what I'm personally feeling in my life, and it helped a lot, because there's so much anger and just sadness that Hecuba has inside of her just because of her life has been torn from her, and her children are dying and being torn away as slaves, and she's just losing everything she's ever loved, and she desperately wants it back. And it was really good for me to embrace the feelings that I've been burying from certain experiences in my life, and to embrace the character, and to come out knowing myself better, and knowing other people's pains more.
Did you fear what he would be to raise again the walls of Troy, the walls from which he fell? Out upon fears but never reason the cause of poor babe.
I think Cassandra, she shows, well, a lot of different emotions. I think it's just like pure devastation and loss, and just what can happen to people after just so much heartbreak that just they can just lose it, and some people don't want to live anymore, and I think that's a really sad thing. Yeah. I've worked with my mom on stuff, on how to act in the emotions, and just like also looking back on other performances that I've done and kind of pulling those together in different aspects of how I can use that to portray the character of Cassandra, and thinking about how I would react in a situation like that. She was given the gift and curse of being able to prophesy the future, and no one would believe her. And so that kind of makes her a little bit crazy. She was also raped by Agamemnon, and is now being forced to marry him. She saw lots of her family die, all of her friends die. She saw her 2 brothers die, and I think that just kind of made her lose it, and she doesn't want to live anymore. She welcomes death and wants to avenge her family by killing her new husband, future husband.
Found friends to bear their bodies home and were laid to rest in the bosom of their native land. Their funeral rites, all duly paid by duteous hands. And all such Phrygians as escaped the warrior's death lived ever day by day with wife and children by them, joys the Achaeans had left behind. As for Hector and his griefs, for the year how stands the case, he is dead and gone, but still his fame remains as bravest of the brave, and this was the result of the Achaeans coming, for had they remained at home, his mark would have gone on.
So there's a video, and it's this kid from Syria, and he's speaking a different language, but he's just, a news reporter asked him, he asked him what was going on, and I just watched that, and I get emotional every time I watch it, so I just think of that, and it's just so sad, and it's crazy that that stuff's really happening, so I think of that little boy, and that's what I think about. I don't like to talk about my feelings, and so I don't really like crying unless I bring my testimony or something, but so yeah, it's helped me deal with that a little bit better, and helped me realize what's going on, and that this world just isn't just happy, but there are terrible things happening, and there's ways to help.
Dost weep, thou weep, thy own sweet babe. Dost thou know thy hapless fate? No hope for thee, thy Father shall not save thee. Oh, to clasp thee is a mother's joy.
Originally, I tried to justify what she did with mythology, because, you know, there are lots of versions of her story that make it, you know, she was at the mercy of the gods and there wasn't a lot she could do. But as we related this to Syrian refugees, I didn't feel like that fit, and I didn't feel like me being indignant or thinking I was right made a whole lot of sense. So I tried to be more manipulative with Helen and self-serving, and I didn't think about, I didn't have any genuine care for Menelaus, is what I decided, and that it was just me trying to spare my own life. When people tell me I make a perfect Helen, I feel like I have to step back and reevaluate my life, you know? I don't want to be like her. I don't want to be like someone that mindlessly does things and she doesn't realize the repercussions on other people or doesn't care about them. People like that make me angry. So relating with her was hard because I had to not hate her to be able to perform her well, or you told me not to judge her for what she did, and that took me a long time because I hate Helen. Once again, I've watched a lot of people suffer, and while a lot of them aren't people, I don't know people in Syria that are suffering, but last year when we did Archipelago, I had so many family connections that I didn't realize till after the show was over that a lot of people I'm related to directly were influenced by that kind of a monstrosity. And when I related that, like thinking about people that I came from being in such anguish, it really made it real, because you don't think about people, how people hurt, until you think about how that related to you, and then you see everyone hurt, and then you want to do something.
She was the author of these troubles by giving birth to Paris. Next, old Priam ruined Troy. And me! For he did not slay his babe Alexander, baleful semblance of a firebrand monk. Hear what followed. Paris was to judge the claims of 3 rival goddesses. Pallas offered him command of the Phrygians and the destruction of Hellas. Hera offered him dominion over Asia and the utmost bounds of Europe, if he would decide for her. But Cyprus spoke in rapture of my loveliness and promised him this boon, if she should have preference over those twain for beauty. Now mark the influence I deduced from this.
Pillars.
I
left it on the fire.
Okay. What?
I left it on the fire.
Hello.
Tegan's here.
I know. I was asleep when my mom came in and she was yelling and I was really stressed out. So I was like, I just woke up because I just woke up.
David will be here by the time the show starts. I hope.
It's like Jared goes
You
home.
say it with
Way too loud upstage, Justin, did you fix this on yours that was special?
They're all special. Oh.
What? Everybody. He's like so confused.
I am so confused.
Well, that was a good song. I love that song.
I'm really excited. It'll be cool.
It might be overplayed, but
Just stop.
What? I literally didn't do it.
I've never felt more beautiful in my entire life.
War is often told through the eyes of the victors, whoever won the war, and it is usually, or if not, it is told by the people who died for some reason. For some reason, plays love to do that. But in reality, war is usually, the casualties are all the collateral damage, the women and children who usually don't even have a voice.
wives of Troy, all luckless brides, come
With acting, it's fun to act, but when it's about someone else, it means so much more, and just to you and the audience.
I get really tired of watching people suffer. And if I can do something that I feel will maybe help in some part to end it, then I'm going to.
Somebody somewhere will have an idea, and they will only have ideas if they know what's happening.